Hey guys, here I am back live again for the day 2 AME Ask Me Anything. How was your experience sending connection request? I'm excited to know who did you connect with and who do you make friends with and how was the response. It does take a while, but I hope that you are enjoying the process. I know it's not very fascinating. Sometimes it's too overwhelming as well to be able to search for the right connection and then to be able to find them. And at the end of the day, to be able to send them the request as a personalized message. And this is all what we are going to talk about today. This is going to be so much fun, trust me. And at the same time, I'm really keen to find out which was the most difficult one for you to be able to send a connection request, which is a personalized one, or to be able to find someone who you think is your potential network. So that's something I'm really excited to know. Let's quickly take a look at the group, what's happening there. Let's see what's happening in the group. Okay, so here I am live. Okay, so yes, I can see some of you have already joined us, and some of them are just building up the momentum to join. So I'm excited to meet each one of you. How was your day 2? Guys, tell us, how was your day 2? What was the most fun and the enjoyable part for you? With this, as it's day 2, I know personalized requests can be quite a thing. Let's quickly go and have a look. How did you guys do? And who did you try to connect with? So let's take a look, quick look. Okay, I can see Sakib just submitting. Metak has also submitted. Wow. I can see Anraj, Rees, Login. Excuse me. Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, superb. Let's start with Logan. So Logan's request. So Logan has dropped in a miss, which says, "Hey guys, my response for the day 2 challenge. I identified 5 people I would like to connect with and draft my personal connection messages attached. Here's the high profile people in the actual community and would love to have your feed." Wow. Okay, so he's smart. He hasn't sent the connection request. He's waiting for the feedback and then he'll send. Okay, Logan, I like that. That is indeed smart. Nobody has done that as yet. So he's a board member, okay. And let's look at, oh, archeries. Oh, wow. My team member is also doing archeries right now. And I have to, she's based out of India. So just for your knowledge. So I'm Logan, an educational volunteer for archeries. I love the work being done with the archeries of the transformation change and hope to be able to connect with you and to be able to get more ideas. I also started a mini project 101 business problems your nearest archeries fresh cat can solve. Would love to have your ideas for this. I am up to number 22 now, and creative juice also are slowly it's a very interesting message, Logan, let me tell you. So over here, usually I wouldn't recommend to give so much of introduction about yourself, but it is so specific and so niche, and it connects to a mutual interest, which is archeries. So it's kind of relevant, but at the same time, I suggest not to add your name because it's very well highlighted there. So you can start with, "Dear Ashok, I love the work that has been done with the archeries and transformation change and hope you'll be able to connect with you." as I am also an educational volunteer at the Archers Society of Malaysia and FSA, indeed have recently started a project which deals with a similar kind of objective, and would love to hear your thoughts, and and would know what would know if you would love to catch up. And then I'm up to number 22 now, and the creative juice, that's fine. Leave a little bit of curiosity for him to ask you what is the Meaning Project all about. At the same time, don't introduce your name, do not mention it in the first line first. That's the most important thing. And at the same time, try to avoid talking too much about yourself. It should be more about the person you are talking. So it should be more about Ashok rather than being about Logan, the president of the society. So I'm Logan, FSA based in Malaysia and educational. Same feedback. I'm very keen on the direction, the visions of the society, and do look forward to efforts to take the profession to the next level. I've also started a mini project 101. Same feedback, exactly same feedback, Logan. Just copy the same thing for the next one also. So we have many CAS members here in Malaysia and would love to collaborate in educational efforts in also many. Exactly same feedback. I mean, try to, because your message is nearly same for every single person, so my feedback also remains the same. So just make those changes. Do not introduce yourself at the first place. Talk about them first, make them feel wanted, cared, and concerned, and then go. Maybe it can start with hope the pandemic is keeping well for you and all of these things. And then towards the end, talk about yourself, talk about how the mutual interest comes in. And at the same time, or you can start with being a fact. I mean, you can start from the mutual interest point of view, like being a member of being a volunteer at the Archerial Society of Malaysia and FSA. I've been fascinated by your profile and thought of connecting because the work that you have been doing for transformational change and hope encouraged me to see if we can connect, and I would love to share even a project which deals in a similar space with you and get some ideas. Could be a way of approach as well. So that was for you, Logan, a quick one. And Reese, okay, hi. Although we have never met, your profile came up when I was looking for a LinkedIn marketer. I'm really impressed with your background and would be very much like to learn more about your career. Hope I consider. Thank you for. Okay, so this is a custom message. I came across your profile by looking for the LinkedIn marketers. Hi, Chris. Okay, and I'm really impressed with the background. Okay, so it is kind of okay as a message. Now, what happens is that when you try to put this as a message, it is fine. It's kind of okay. But what were you impressed from that person? As in, let's just say, for example, impressed with your background. So what kind of background is it? Oh, Nina is a dear friend. She's amazing. And impressed with the background, like as in what kind of background were you interested on, or what intrigued you? I think that would help a lot and that would make more sense. So just try to optimize it in that direction. Because over here it's a copy paste message. I do understand templates are fine, it's good to have as well, it saves your time, but at the same time it's important for the person to understand that it's not a bot and it's a real human who is sending it. So try, Reese, to have a non-bot approach, and that is where you personalize it and add which background statement actually mattered for you the most. So just see that. Let's look at the next one. Anurad says, day 2, identify 3 who wanted to connect, and the advertising, let me know. Okay, advertising space. We'll love to connect with you to discuss an increase in the media spend on publisher websites of B2B companies. Currently, I'm researching on increasing budget allocations to publisher websites that on LinkedIn and how we can optimize the consumer spending. Now, Anuraj, actually, it's too direct motive. I mean, if the person is not the person directly knows that there is a motive behind it to discuss to increase media spend on publisher websites of B2B. Now, what happens is, let's say, for example, I'm not too sure what's your background, so I'm not going to take that into consideration at this point of time. But definitely, my idea is that if the message is not too objective oriented, but it starts with a personal note and then says you have something up my mind that can add value to them to discuss, or let's just say it's about how to increase the media spend. I mean, Anuraj, it depends. You are the publisher or they are the publisher. That's a question, definitely. But It's if you are looking to provide them service, it is still fine, but if you want to offer your service to them, then I want to give you a red alert on this message. Please try to make sure that you focus on the fact that you're talking about them building the relationship and then coming down to a level where it is all about direct message to a direct motive driven. Would love to connect with you once again 3 years back. Oh, this is good because you're connecting back to an incident. Rabbit Media was getting acquired by VG, and I didn't get much of an opportunity to connect with you. I think this is a great message. This is like you're connecting to a incident, you're connecting to a moment where you have probably met the person or heard about the person, and that creates a lot of mutual bond and automatic interest of the person to connect with you. I would be delighted to connect with you and discuss the future of advertising, especially OOH and DGM media, as currently we are working with a group of consultants who are compiling information on the consumer behavior in the Thai market. Now, again, of course, if you are wanting Nelson to give feedback, let's just say, it's still fine, but it's too early to talk about this now, because what happens is you want to discuss the future of advertising, especially OOH and digital media, as currently we are working on a group of consultants who are compiling information on the consumer. I hope it's not a pitch. So that's a concern that I have at this point of time. And what kind of in this, it just feels like if you are pricking their minds at this early stage, I'm finding it quite difficult for a person to, because Anuraj, I don't know your background, so I really feel that I would be delighted to connect with you. One second. What I'm going to do is, give me a second. Let me, okay. Anuraj. So what I'm doing is, Anuraj, I'm just quickly since you are coming from the digital background, as I can just remember with the profile I'm looking in, and I completely get a recall of the sales and the marketing side and everything, I don't recommend you putting direct words to that unless you're creating a strategy report and you want their input, and you say that I'm preparing a report and your inputs are valuable. In this messages, it just feels like you want to prick their brain and probably pitch them something. So when you do that, lot of leaders, especially CEOs and directors and the leadership team, will refrain to reply. They will just read your message and then skip it, maybe accept your request, but not go beyond that. So that is something you want to be careful about. To go with an agenda in the first message can be too strong and can be too direct. So yeah, this is nice. If you're mentioning about recent funding, I remember visiting to the Fern Room office and 6 employees. This is nice. This is like, keep that as a build up and let that warm up a little bit before you make a pitch. You guys have come a long way. Kudos. I'm working with a group of consultants compiling information, though it might help you. Let's connect. Thought it might. So don't have that objective. If you're congratulating someone, they will say you thank you and something, and then go, by the way, I'm working on this, and I think it can value add to you. So that going with that slow objective will help you build deeper connection with people and not seem too salesy. You don't want to sound salesy. You already have sales and marketing in as in your profile, so people directly assume that you're trying to sell something. So try not to have that impression gone out in your messages, at least. What an interesting experience building connections here at 2 response and waiting for the invite. Wow, that's nice. So glad to have you met you through ICA, and good pleasure to meet you in person. I enjoyed the ICA classes and grateful to use. This is nice. You connected back to an event, and then that's where you are building relationship. Wow. Oh, why we are not see the way she has responded. That's beautiful. I think this is how you should be, like, very casual, connecting to somewhere, taking offline connections, online connections to personalized online messages. I love it, May, because this is something which is exactly what I'm referring to. It is always pleasure to working with you, developing leader in the I see you moved into AI talking. Oh, wow, this is nice. This is lovely. Yes, exactly. And see, this is another thing, guys, and you can learn this from May, and I loved it, May. So Michelle accepted her request but did not reply. May wasn't disheartened. She went ahead and says, "Hey, appreciate your quick response. Look forward to be able to travel again, especially to Singapore." That's nice. She accepted the request and immediately May took an opportunity to acknowledge it, and that's very beautiful of her. I love it, guys. You can pick this from her, and you must implement it. Let's go the day 2 challenge for Sakib. Okay, this is a bit challenging to be able to see what is here in this image. Okay, hope you're great. As a new ICF certified coach myself, I wanted to connect with you. I was especially interested in learning about the accelerated learning methods that you practice in. This is not bad, but why not start with that you're fascinated with the learning methods that the person is practicing, Rosalina, and you can start from there, and you can talk about, because you are also in the space of ICF, and that kind of build that curiosity to get in touch and see how you can learn in this virtual space. If you talk about the person first and then about yourself, it always helps to get the person's interest. So it's like buying their interest and then trying to sell them something. So nice to connect with you. I find, so since at this point of time you haven't connected, so I wouldn't say that it is connect. You can actually say, nice to come across your profile. I find the work you do is fascinating, and a social entrepreneur myself was wondering how data analytics can be utilized for social. This is nice. You're putting a question. That means you're thought provoking, kind of getting advice from someone. So it's always good to make someone feel valued, and that's what your message is doing. But just if the message starts like, I came across your profile or something. Let's connect to express my appreciation for your storytelling advocacy. I'm looking forward to how storytelling can. Okay, this is nice, simple, easy. This is good. Tyler, I reached out to connect. As a fellow coach and educator myself, I wanted to share my passion of equal opportunities for all education. My specific area is refugee education. Perhaps we can find a way to work together. Interesting. I've met Tyler, a great guy to say. Sakib, what you can do is, Tyler, between, he has amazing energy to say. Between, I should say, what you can do, Sakib, is perhaps we can find the last line is where you need to be careful. It shouldn't be motive oriented. So the person, it's okay to put across working together, but it's like, it feels like you perhaps has a motive. What if this could be the second statement, and let the person first accept your invite, and then you go deeper into it, because you always have an opportunity to drop a second message. What's hard is to get them to connect first. Just wanted to reach out. I'm co-founder of Urban Hijau. Okay, appreciate having Yasim over at our farm recently. I really appreciate the excellent work, you guys. This is a very nice one. I'm sure Yasim is a common connect to Fadli, and that's where it's happening. So that is good, because if Fadli is close to Yasim, and she will be able to relate to the entire thing, and she'll be able to connect with the entire thing, then that's perfectly all right. What you guys have to be super careful that when you're dropping a connection request, you just let the person feel more wanted than ever. And yes, May, I love it. Learn from the best. Always follow up. Thanks for the feedback, Kush. I'm glad and rushed to think. I think I'm pitching a lot. Need to slow down. Indeed, I think yes, needs to be, because leaders, or like, we get every day so many messages on a daily basis. I'm getting more than 30, 40 messages, and imagine it just gets so overwhelming. How will you stand out in that crowded space? And if you are also making a pitch in that, trust me, it is going to be a journey where getting your request to be accepted is going to be a hard call. It is difficult for business owners to always be chased for something, and they must be felt special. So that's why here's my request, that guys, don't make a pitch in the first message. Try to always keep the pitch later on. So I'm here for the next few minutes to make sure that I can answer more questions for you guys. I've reviewed almost all the connection requests that came in, particularly spending so diligent amount of time. I mean, this is beautiful. I get to spend so much of time in one single message, which I never used to get it. So this is going to be super. These feedback sessions are super helpful. I'm really glad that you mentioned it. I'm happy that you feel like that, because indeed these live sessions actually make a huge difference, because they correct and they improve us as persons so much. So Reese says, hey Kushbu, does it mean that I need to brief introduction my background in the PM message? No, not really, Reese. Please do not introduce yourself, because your profile already talks about you. Talk about the other person, make the other person feel special. But what is happening is, here you are dropping the same message to every single person. I'm saying, when you're saying that you have met through you have met someone through a keyword, and you were impressed by your profile, you were impressed by the way you have been growing in dash space, like personalization. Let's say, for example, hey Kush, I come across your profile with the keyword LinkedIn marketing, and then your profile had shown that you were twice standing up for top LinkedIn icons in Malaysia. So that fascinated me. I mean, put something, one keyword that can show that it is not a copy paste message, but instead it's a message which is personalized for me. And that's why you get more yes than no. No worries, no plan to complete as soon as possible. The internet is back. Superb. I think that's nice to know. Hey, everybody, I'm not being able to submit my challenge. And strangely, today we are having internet issues. No problem. Do submit it, because tomorrow I'm going to come back again. And I hope your challenge is completed. And with this, what will happen? I'll be able to review more challenges. Guys, the next episode is going to be so amazing. So amazing. It's going to challenge you even further. Trust me on that. You might not even feel like, oh my God, what is this? But if you overcome that fear and you go beyond that and you go and take that passion to the next level of growing your journey on LinkedIn by overcoming that sense of hesitation, then the next video will change the way you look at the entire platform. It has done for many. I'm not saying it because of me. I'm saying because it happens with many of them who has participated in Killing It on LinkedIn workshop. So what is the rate of connections you normally engage with? I think that's a great question, Sakib. I would recommend to start somewhere very low, because LinkedIn has a quota. So there's a number of connections that you can send. There's a limit to that per month. Every single account has a different limit. So LinkedIn doesn't announce your limit. The more the active you are, the more the limit is. LinkedIn is very much about give and take. So the rate of connection, I would recommend go slow, go from 10, 15, 25, 35 to 50. Wouldn't recommend above 50 at this point of time, unless you already have like 14,000 connections. But go slow, go progressive. Don't all of a sudden send 50 connection requests and then 100 connection requests on a daily basis. Your account can get blocked, your account can be marked spammed, and even LinkedIn can take away rights for sending further connection requests forever. So please be very careful. LinkedIn is very, very particular about quality content and quality people and not spammers. So you must be very careful. So bottom line, don't pitch, just connect first, engage first time, and see oh yes, you are absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. Please go out, build that bond as if you would do in any networking event, and then go further, that you're coming up with a report or you're coming up with an insight, and then go and sell that. So that's Meenakshi, my per day I've just shared with you. Go progressive, start with 15, then after 2-3 days, go for 20, then after 4-5 days, go for 30, and then 40, and just limit it to 50. Don't go above that. It's a good enough number. You, on a month-to-month basis, you'll be able to increase your connections very, very slowly, because if you are going with such large numbers, sending personalized connection requests can be a challenge. It would take a lot of time, but at the same time, I wouldn't recommend to run after numbers. I would recommend to run after quality. Don't go for connecting people, as I said, removing people, right? So don't go for connecting people who are not part of your target group, because that will actually destroy the entire reach of your content if you are planning to create content. So guys, please be careful there. That is something you must be able to manage it. You must be able to even at the same time, you must be able to design it for yourself, that if you are getting in people who are not connecting with your content, your delivery, and they're not within your target group, they will actually end up not engaging and just give you vanity metrics of numbers. So if you are in that, it's a different story. But if you're not, I wouldn't recommend you to connect with everybody and anybody. So guys, that is it. Assuming quality connections, of course. Yes, absolutely. So the next milestone from 500 is to reach 5,000. Awesome, guys. Indeed, it is to increase your connections, because any day if you have more connections, it increases your reach and everything. Just make sure that you don't rush into it. You take some time and you are able to connect with high-end quality people on the platform to be able to get more community who believe in human connection and not just numbers. So I have a next question which says, what's your advice? So Meenakshi says, what advice do you have to decide on the target group? For example, I'm a trainer. So one target group is our participants and the other is the people who buy. Isn't it the same set of people, Meenakshi? I'm a trainer. So one target group is our participant and the other is the people who buy. So participants and the people who buy, wouldn't that be same? Like, I do understand you come from the background of learning. Okay, I think okay, you're talking about the HRs and the HR buying for their teams. I believe you're talking about that. So that means you need to get, see, unless you have a B2C model, which is exactly like Killing It on LinkedIn is a complete B2C model, which anybody can come in and subscribe directly, and it's a website subscription. You can go buy it as an individual. But if you are doing corporate trainings, then you must get in touch with the people who are decision makers, like trainers, departmental heads. Like when we work with the sales team, when we work with the marketing team, our target audience is to be able to get in touch with the sales head, the marketing head, or the HR heads, because they are the ones who decides whether the team needs to learn. They are the ones who decides the L&D budget and make pitches to the upper higher level of authority. So get in touch with the people who are decision makers rather than the ones who are participating only. They are your target audience. Like a salesperson can go and say, hey, I came across Koshan, she's training well, so I want to participate. Do you think we should get her to propose and all? So in that case, what happens is that this also works, but definitely it's a long journey. Your sales cycle increases there. But if you get in touch with the HR, your sales cycle is shorter. So that's a choice that you want to make. But at the same time, getting in touch with the people who are decision maker is a better way to go than the people who are actual attendee. If you're asking, yeah, exactly, I get it. So that's how it goes. Not much people I see are active on LinkedIn in Thailand, and they have profiles but not active. So it gets, yes, indeed, Thailand is a market which is very slow on the LinkedIn side of it. And Raj, I completely agree. I've got some friends there, I've got some clients there, and it is not easy as a market. But anybody who wants to take international, go from outside of, like, the companies who are in Thailand and want to go outside, that's where LinkedIn comes to play, because it really helps them a lot. But when it comes to only Thailand, I'm happy if you can invite us to companies around and get us introduced to some of the Thailand companies. We're ready to get them on board on the LinkedIn journey. I would be more than happy to get them started. But you're right, there are not many people in Thailand, so the market is a bit slow. It'll take about, I think it'll take about 6-7 months to get a little mature than what it is, because the COVID has fast tracked that journey. But no doubt, if we tie up, as we are right now signing contracts and tying up with an Indonesian company, and since we are working with Indonesian brands already, and we wanted to go all out and help Indonesians to come on LinkedIn, because even that is not a very matured market, but better than Thailand any day. I think you've opened my eyes, and that has made me even listen that yes, Thailand is also a market to get into. But indeed, you're right, it is a very slow space. So connect and wait for reply. Any suggestions, Kush? Yes, there are suggestions. So if you send them a connection request and you're waiting for too long, like 3-4 days, why not go and visit their profile? They get to see you visited, and that reminds to them that you sent them a connection request. Why not go and engage with their content? That reminds them that you sent them a connection request and you haven't accepted it. Why not drop a comment on their post and see that you haven't engaged with their profile? I mean, you have engaged with their profile, but the person hasn't accepted your connection request. Add value to the person as much as possible. The more the value you add, the more are the chances for them to accept your connection request. So it's a long journey, of course, guys. We work with the sales team and we train them to be able to do a lot of things. These are just 1 or 2 hacks that I'm sharing with you guys. And you, let me tell you, the privileged ones, because you are in this closed group and it's all about the live show that's happening. These are not the tricks I've included in the videos, if you will also notice, because it's a premium thing. We take thousands of dollars from the clients to be able to train them how exactly can they mind map every client's journey and take them from the level of just prospecting to closing, or even to the level of even negotiating. What are the different methods of negotiation? So of course, LinkedIn plays a very important role in the prospecting journey and brand credibility journey, and to be able to build our authority. And then comes in the place where we work. Of course, you guys may already know Anil, so we work very closely together to come up with frameworks where your negotiation comes in, where your follow-up comes in, where your strategy comes in on how exactly can you pitch, what your deck should look like, what your deck should not include when you're talking, what your body language should be, how you should talk virtually, how you should talk in person. All of these things, like role plays and all, these are huge level activities that we do with the sales team on month-to-month basis. Like it's a from starting from 4 days program to even we have 4 months program. So it's a very detailed, extensive program. I cannot just share about it on the live for sure, but yes, indeed, these are some key hacks that I've told you, and I'm telling you, these are treasure. Thousands of dollars people are paying us just to do that, and trust me, if you do that well, it gets you so much more credibility in the market, and you build real bond. And if that person is not giving you business, for sure he will recommend you to someone who can give you business, and that's the kind of relationship you want to build for yourself. It has worked great for us, guys, and I'm sure it'll work for you as well. When I did search for L&D second connections, for me it was about 24,000 result. How could I narrow it down? It's a great question. So you need to narrow it down in terms of doing narrow targeting. So of course, this is also a detail level program where we do persona and prospecting detailing, where identifying your personas and finding out who your target audience is, how to make it more niche, how to come down to the level where only probably you have only 100 people. But at this point of time, what I can say is make sure your filters are chosen very, very cleverly. Like you have the location filter, you have the field filters, you have the connection filters highlighted, and you have defined your niche well. Of course, we've got frameworks on how B2B companies and even B2C companies can define their niche, define their personas or ICPs. But at the same time, what is important for you at this point of time, if you're saying 24,000, figure out who are active. That's one big tip that I'm going to give you. Figure out who's active and go for them first and focus on them. Between Kush, your video was amazing. So many new thoughts. Thank you so much, Meenakshi. That's beautiful of you to be able to appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, because the whole idea of this entire program is to be able to empower you guys in this new journey of 2021, because we are far more mindful, we are far more prepared for anything that comes our way, and being able to be empowered on another great tool. I'm sure you guys are awesome at what you do, and now you have one more feather on your hat, and soon you will rock your journey on the platform. I'm so confident about it, guys. So really enjoying all of these questions that's coming my way. And with this, I'm almost coming to the end and almost wrapping up for today, guys. If I'm just going to stay there for another 60 seconds to see if there's any question, but I have to say you guys are doing great. I've seen some great profile changes, connection message also, but now you have my feedback. So make sure, build and then sell, educate and then sell. Don't sell first, not even yourself, not your product, not your service. Try the person feel cared, concerned and wanted, and nothing else. And make sure you watch the day 3 video and do the challenge, because day 3 video will define your growth journey, not only at this speed, but at this speed. It will take your journey by multi-fold. That's the power of the day 3 video. And you will find so many strategies which I use for my own personal profiles in that particular video that will fascinate you to the bottom. But thank you so much, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, Meenakshi. Thank you, Anuraj, and everybody who's watching right now. Take care of yourself. Have a great, 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 great evening. And is LinkedIn an underutilized platform? Of course it is. I think there is no doubt on that, Reese. I have not seen many Malaysians utilizing LinkedIn at all. So definitely it is. I'm sure you are also fascinated by the platform, and I can see your passion towards it. Let's as I mentioned, it is something that that needs a lot of attention, and I'm keen to make sure that I can get as many people in the APAC region to leverage on this power, which I have been privileged about to each one of you guys. And even beyond that, this program is something that you guys are enjoying at a particular value, but we're going to come back next year with similar kind of a package. So yes, of course, I'm so happy that we have been able to serve more than 600 people in the last 3 months, not exactly 3 months also. And you guys are part of the final batch of this year 2020. This is going to be one of the memorable batches, as I always said, in the meet and mingle. So I'm going to miss each one of you guys after this day 3 is over, because that just feels like almost the close of the batch. But yes, guys, please keep whatever is being taught is to make sure that you keep doing it, because unless you do it, you're not going to see any results. And I have to say, super huge virtual hug to every one of you who have executed your changes, executed your challenges, because what you will experience, I don't think the ones who have not executed will experience at all. So guys, your hard work, you will reap the benefits. Till then, take care a lot. Liz, I'm happy to know you learned a lot. Thank you so much. I'm glad you could join this session. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.